The Albino Hoplo Catfish. These are a fish that I get a very lot of questions about on my channel, and people are very, very interested in them. And like I said, these are the albino version of the Hoplo Catfish. They are from South America, and they can get to sizes of around about 6 to 7 inches. They are a peaceful fish, to be honest. I find them peaceful, and when it comes to Tankmates, you would probably get recommended peaceful Tankmates, but they do okay with these like cichlids, because I've got cichlids in here, and they do great with them. You know, they in fact, if I'm being honest with you, these Hoplo Catfish, when it comes to feeding, they're first to the food. They don't muck around. They don't expect anything they don't expect to wait for anything else. They just get straight in there. The lifespan of these is 5 to 8 years, and they do like, I mean, this tank actually is not bad. It's got rocks, it's got caves, it's got lots of hiding spaces. You've got the wood, which they will hide. So as you can see now, this one's out and about, and so's the other one. They're quite lively fish, but they do hide sometimes. So one of them will sit with its tail hanging out of that cave. They'll hide behind the wood. But on the whole, there's one at the back now there, look, hiding. But on the whole, they are quite lively. But I think that you need to supply the tank with hiding spots and stuff like that. They're an omnivorous fish. So basically they will eat greens and they will eat meaty foods. So they get a mixture of both in my tank. I would say mine are about 4 inches, maybe, yeah, maybe between 4 and 5 inches. So these have grown really quick for me, to be honest. I don't know, was it beginning of the year? I bought these when they were probably a couple of inches. So I've had some really good growth with them. Not easy to sex. Well, someone will always put me right on stuff. So if there's a way you know how to sex these fish, let me know in the comments, because I don't know, and anyone I've ever asked seems to say that they don't know. But there'll be a way probably of sexing them, I'm not sure. They're like a moderate water flow, and they are predominantly bottom dwellers. So they will feed off the bottom, although they, like now they're at the top, they do come up for air, and they will feed off the food, but they will, you know, forage and burrow for the food on the bottom. So I think they are classed as bottom dwellers because they are actually a catfish, obviously, and most catfish are bottom dwellers, aren't they? So yeah, they basically, when it comes to like some parameters, so your pH, they like a 6.5 to 7.5 pH, and when it comes to temperature, anything from 72 up to about 80. So they're quite a hardy fish. So they're quite hardy, and they can handle quite different types. But in this tank, I have tried to mimic a lot of that stuff, and we're around about those areas. So that, you know, it's 26 degrees, which is the top end. So 26 degrees is around about 79. So it's the top end of the expectation. But I don't know, you know what? These are just guidelines. I say it all the time. You will work out for yourself what is the best, as long as you don't go and do something stupid. 1 degree over, 1 degree under, it's not going to be a problem, is it? But if you can stick to the guidelines, then you know you're not going wrong. One thing I would say, in the natural habitat, they do like sandy substrate, so I have provided mine with a sandy substrate because they do burrow in the sand. So obviously a bit like Corridorus catfish, you know, you don't want to burrow in gravel because the whiskers will damage and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, obviously I've got them in with quite robust, aggressive type cichlids, and they do fine. And honestly, like I said before, these fish get a lot of love on my channel. People love them. I wanted to own the Albino Hoplo Catfish for a long time. I actually first saw it on Paul Thompson's video. So Paul's on YouTube, and I've mentioned Paul before. He's got a cracking channel. I'll leave the name of his channel on the screen. He is a top guy, but I saw he had a massive pair, and if you go and watch his videos and go back on his videos, you'll see them. They were phenomenal. And when I saw his, I wanted to get some. So well, I've had these now probably a year, I think. So I ended up finding some, and I grew my own out. and I do love them. You know, these are a fish that I could put these fish in probably most of my tanks, but the great thing with them is because they only get to about 6 or 7 inches, you don't need a massive tank for them. Right, I'm going to attempt to say the scientific name, right? And I think I'm going to have to, I've wrote it down because I kept forgetting what it was. And I'm going to try and read it out. So it's Mechalechus thoracata. Now, that's my attempt. I'm not about to say it again. I've said it once and that's it. If you want to know and you didn't hear it, then either rewind it or go and check it out on Google. But that is the scientific name for these fish. And yeah, I know them as the Albino Hoplo Catfish. That's the common name. Anyway, guys, just a quick species profile. And I wanted to answer some of the questions that I get asked, because like I said to you, I do get asked a lot of questions on this fish. The interesting thing is that the amount of people that have actually said to me they don't know what they are or they've not seen them. It's quite interesting. So does that mean they're rare? I'm not sure. I see them quite a lot in the UK fish shops. I never see them on large sizes, but I do see them as babies. So, but yeah, that's the Albino Hoplo Catfish. I hope that answers a lot of the questions that have been asked, and I hope you've enjoyed actually watching a bit more of a video around this species, because obviously when we do our fish room tours we only really touch upon them very briefly, and like I said to you before, they're very, very popular on my channel. So yeah, and I do love them very much. So yeah, that is the Albino Hoplo Catfish. I want to say a massive thank you, guys, as always. Hope you enjoyed that kind of thing. I don't do that much on my channel, and if it's something you'd like me to do more on single fish, I'll be more than willing to do it, because obviously I'm just someone who picks the phone camera up and films my fish room or the fish shop. So yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a day. Massive thank you, and I'll see you all on the next one.